So good morning. Welcome to the prelude video on why you need a 3D printer. What I thought I'd open with though is by showing you a quick rundown of my equipment. Mainly because you can see that you don't need a huge amount of equipment to get started in 3D printing. My Ender 3 over here, which is approximately £250. Each roll, each spool there is £20 a piece approximately, all available off Amazon. So you get yourself my kind of setup for £500, as I said in the other video, the cost of 2 new Hornby locomotives. Over here is my workstation, standard Humbrol workstation there, and do not be intimidated by what looks like an incredibly large and complicated computer setup. My son actually works in computing, but everything I'm going to show you on this video you can do on a laptop. And you don't need to be a whizzy expert, which I am not, I will emphasise. If you're watching this, you know how to use Facebook, you probably know how to use YouTube, and you don't need any more skills than that. So let's cut to the chase.
So where do we start? Obviously, pop yourselves into Google. Now there are lots of free sites available to you on Google to get you started. But what you will need to do initially, obviously, is decide what it is you're going to make, and then have either a pattern to measure, or take some measurements for where it's going to fit, or have some idea of sizes, and then you can go in and find a simple online CAD system. There are a couple of very good CAD systems. They're both free. I use Tinkercad, which is a very popular online system. Other people, including Sam's Trains, use the SketchUp system, which is very, very good. They both operate independently, but I'm going to show you the way I do it on Tinkercad, and from there you can make your own decisions as to where you're going and what you're going to do. So we'll just log in now and bring it up here, and you will actually need to log in with your Google account is what I do, but you can open another account. Very simply, what you see in front of you is a lot of my designs that I've done for different bits and pieces. Now go in and we're actually going to generate an item to build. Now what you see in front of you is just like a large Lego set. You've got your work plane in front of you, and you just drag blocks from the library on the right, in this case a cylinder, which I'm going to resize now to make the thing I want to make, and you'll see what it is as it unfolds. Now what I'm doing is I'm resizing that cylinder. As you see, it's all in millimeters, and then over here you've got places where you can actually slightly change the shape. You can bevel it and round it off, and it's sort of in step segments when you bring it across, so you can smooth that out as well. So we've just got a cylinder now with some round edges, looks like a big cheese. I'll now bring in another cylinder, and notice this cylinder is transparent. That's because as we resize it, we're going to do one of the very clever things I think Tinkercad does. So we're just, as you know, doing it. You can resize it either by dragging the boxes or by typing in the numbers. And then there's a trick here you use by using this symbol in the top right, whereby when you click on it, by pressing each one of those dots, it will line the parts up for you automatically, so you don't have to do any clever maths. It will just sort it out for you. Doing that again, obviously a bit of finger trouble. There we go. And that's now exactly in the middle of the first cylinder we put together. And again, draw around the whole thing, press the combine button up there, and oh look, it's now got a whopping great hole in the middle of it. It's all very, very clever. There are on YouTube some wonderful tutorials on how to use this. One in a set of 6 I found particularly useful, and I will add the name of that in the write-up with the video, because I don't have it at hand at the moment, and I have no idea how you actually attach shortcuts to the video, so forgive me there for my shortcomings, but I will actually put it in the description for you. Right, so we've now dragged in what you would call a ring, looks just like a rubber ring. I'm tempted to call it a torus, but I'm not sure if that's the right word. Again, I brought in a transparent rectangle. There we go. And I'm going to join these together in a moment, like so. And hey presto, look, half of it disappears. Clever, isn't it? It's a little bit thin this now, so we'll just thicken it up again by dragging the boxes or resizing it. See that it's now below the work plane. If you press D at this point, it will cleverly jump up onto the work plane for you. Now what we're doing here is I'm going to turn this through 90 degrees. You type in 90 there, look, and it comes up to 90. You can also use it, get hold of that and drag it so you can do independent angles and things with it. But all these things are covered in the tutorials, which are very easy to follow and very, very easy to do. They have to be for me. I'm not that complicated a chap. As I said before, I'm by no means a computer expert. So we're going to bring this together. Now I'm just lifting this half circle up. And I think you're getting the idea of what this is actually going to be. Again, so I use the lining up tool. Bump, bump. Whoop, one too far. I'll just take it back a picture and bring it in manually. And if we bring it all together, which I will do in a moment, as you can see, you have your coffee cup for your early morning cup of coffee. As simple as that. It takes longer to talk about than it does to actually do. Now if you want to visualise it in different colours, you can change the colour you're looking at. Would you fancy it in blue instead of orange, for instance? And bring it in to have a closer look at it. Perhaps the handle's a little small, but you get the gist of what we're doing. There we go. Let's make the handle a little bigger. And you can just fiddle and play around with this to your heart's content, basically, till you've got the thing you want to make. And it really is that simple. As I say, it's like Lego. You just bolt the bricks together and away you go. And over in the library on the right hand side, you've not only got all those shapes, you've got all kinds of other bits and pieces in the library as well, which are incredibly useful. So now we're going to save it up here, and there it is, and it's popped into the library here. Now you notice it's got a ludicrous name, but you actually can change that by changing the name in the top corner. This is the triangle rocket you saw being printed, and as you see, if I press the button that unmakes all the parts, we'll just get rid of that in a moment, you can see all the shapes it's made up of. Very, very simple thing to do, and the warheads are even simpler. They're just that particular item added together. So what do we do next? How do we put in our machine? Well, we'll go back in to the mug, select it, Right, so when we come over here, we press the export button. We need to convert it into an STL file, which it does here. Very, very simple. And what it will then do is open the box for you to save it, which I will show you in a second. And the other useful thing I should mention at this point is there are lots of free sites we can actually download designs that are already made. The one I use is Thingiverse, which is very good. It has all kinds of stuff in it, which gives you a shortcut to making stuff. If you go and actually have a look, again, it's free, you can look all around it. So, my apologies for that. I managed to actually cut myself off mid-sentence. I was talking about Thingiverse. Thingiverse, of course, you can download onto Tinkercad and adapt any STL file that you find there. Okay, this is the box where we're going to export now to the next file that we're going to use, and in this case it's a file called Automata Cura. You get a version of this, comes free with your machine, and it allows you to go to the next process. So this is our next process. This program is where we actually slice the item into little tiny sections for the machine to print, which you use here. If you look down to the right hand side, you'll see a box that says slice. That's where you cut it up. Up here are all the settings that you can use to fine tune your print, but all come preset. As I say, we actually export it to a micro SD card, which we then plug into the printer, which is where the other video comes in. And that's it, chaps. Very simple. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your interest. We'll just show you now on the slider here. You can look at all the different levels you're going to print, and it's really, that is how it all works. I hope you found this informative and interesting, and I hope you now understand how we then go to the previous video. Thanks very much again.